Is detachment something you do in real time, or is it before or after an event? I think I've heard you describe both. Is it both?
No, it is not both. It is not both, actually. And if you think about it, okay, the detachment that we're talking about is when you get involved in these situations, you got to detach yourself from them so that you can make good decisions, so that you can see things clearly, so that you can assess things clearly. That's why you detach from these situations. Mm-hmm. So technically, if before or after an event, you are detached from them.
Right.
Because they're not happening at that time. Yeah. Now, I guess you could be so emotional about an event that even after it happens, you could still not see it clearly because you can't detach from it. So I guess I could give it to you that, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
And before it, you could be so amped up about it and so nervous about it and so emotional about it that I guess beforehand you could. So I guess I am wrong. I am talking about detaching throughout the process.
Right. But even if you have to detach beforehand, you're not detaching on the incoming situation. You have to detach from your current being nervous about the oncoming.
Right.
So,
and that may help you prep, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But the skill itself is being able to detach during the event. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, once you do detach from it, it's actually pretty easy, but to punch through that gravity that your brain makes with emotion and chaos and mayhem, that's the hard part. Mm-hmm. The hard part is to notice that you're stuck in the gravitational pull of all that emotion. So you got to pay attention to that. And what you really want to try and do is it's what you just said, try and detach yourself before the gravity and the gravity of the emotions and the chaos builds up. If you can detach before that, then you don't have to break through it. You're already outside that realm. And so then it's much easier. So it's like there's quicksand in front of you, and it's much easier to just see the quicksand and just say, I'm not going to step in there, than it is to walk in there, go up into your waist and start getting sucked down and then decide, I'm going to pull myself out of that. It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
So you got to look for those signs. You got to look for that moment when you start feeling emotional, or you know that it's going to be something emotional. You got to step back from those and get yourself in the habit of asking yourself, what do I look like right now? What does Jocko look like right now? What does Jocko sound like right now? Mm-hmm. Listen to yourself talk. Listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth and see if you're being a reasonable human or not. And I'll tell you one thing that I kind of see is, when in the movie The Terminator, when he sees like the various responses he could give. Yep. Well, when I'm really good in a very detached mode, and I'm having a conversation with someone, I like see the options in my head of what I could say to him. And that'll make him mad. Oh yeah, that's too offensive. Okay, that's a good one. Hey buddy, blah, 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 blah. So I think that mindset kind of works pretty good. But again, look for the signs. Look for the quicksand. Mm-hmm. Look for the emotional quicksand, and don't step in it. The emotion of the anger, the frustration. There's little physical signs too. When you start feeling the sweat beating up, when you start feeling hot, like you literally start feeling hot, that should be a big red flag.
Yeah.
That warmth that flushes through your face, that's not good.
Yeah.
The breathing, when your breathing starts increasing, your pulse starts going, that's the stuff you got to notice to say to yourself, oh, there it is. There it is. That's the quicksand of emotion and confusion and chaos. And you don't want to step into it. You want to pull yourself back.
So the takeaway there is like, be like the Terminator.
No, I'm not saying be like the Terminator. That was a comparison of thinking, of being able to visualize the options that you have. And if you're emotional, you don't think like that. When you're emotional, you're just blurting out whatever is going to come out of your mouth. But when you're detached a little bit, you go, okay, I could say this, I could say that. Oh, this is answer 3, and you say it.
It's like a problem-solving tactic. Don't you think it's interesting? Because on the Terminator, he blurted out analytically, he blurted out an emotional response because he was acting like a person. Remember that? You remember what he said, right?
I don't.
A bunch of profanity. When he's in the thing, he's all shot up, and the superintendent or whatever, whatever is knocking on the motel door. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you got a dead cat in there or what?" Because all these flashes riding off. So he looks through his responses, and they're pretty funny if you read them. I forget exactly what they are, but he goes, the one he chose was "fuck you, asshole." That was it. Instead of all,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I do remember that. Yeah.
that was pretty dope.
The fake emotions, which I've talked about before, sometimes you got to use the fake emotions.
The switcheroo.
Yeah.
Or is that what's good for the goose is good for the...
No, it's like when your kid is not getting, they're not listening to what you're saying. You're not having the impact that you want to have, so you got to show a little bit of anger.
Yeah. Turn up the heat. That's kind of good too, and don't get crazy with it, right? As far as with the kids, where if you show anger, not only is it like a powerful thing and they're like, oh shoot, this is powerful, it demonstrates to them that you care about what we're talking about right now. I care about
exactly.
This, rather than,
rather than I'm just a machine, a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I know I'm supposed to tell you this kind of feeling.